So we have a fairly unusual situation here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and call to order the meeting of the Dawson Neighborhood Association and explain. Some of you may know that we don't have any officers present this evening. Our president passed away earlier in the year. Our vice president resigned shortly after the last meeting, and our other officers were not able to attend this evening. So, in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order, the first thing that we need to do is elect a chairperson, pro tem, just to manage this meeting and this meeting only, not the DMPCT meeting that comes on after this. If you're new, if this is your first meeting, there are two meetings tonight. There's the DNA meeting, the Dawson Neighborhood Association meeting, and then the DMPCT. So first thing is to elect a chairperson. So if there's any volunteers, any nominations for anybody who wants to chair the DNA meeting? Yes. So it does require a majority vote. So just show of hands.
Oh, I second the nomination.
Oh, a second nomination. See, I'm doing this. You're just going to have to.
Can you introduce yourself? Can you introduce yourself for those of us that don't know?
Sure. My name is Chad Cosper.
Okay. Thank you.
Need more?
You're basically running for president briefly. Tell us more about yourself.
I'm running for president.
No, just this meeting, no other discussion.
No, I'm volunteering to run this meeting. So a show of hands. That's okay with you?
In favor?
In favor? All right,
Favor.
I think I call that majority. Opposed? Okay. So does everybody have an agenda? I've got extras here. You need one? So the first thing we need to do is do an approval of the minutes on the back page, or the minutes from the last meeting. If you want to take a look. Does anybody have any issues with Julie Woods taking the minutes in the absence of our secretary?
I think you can just appoint her.
What's that?
Once you're elected pro tem, just appoint your assistants.
I'm sorry?
Once you're elected pro tem, you can just appoint your assistants for the day,
Okay.
the session.
So then take a look at the minutes on the back of the newsletter. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I move we adopt the minutes as printed on the newsletter.
Chad Vanderlinden has a motion to approve the minutes. Do we hear a second?
I second the motion.
Claire has seconded the motion. And so, all in favor of approval of the minutes? Okay. All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that's the easy part, right? So the second item is old business. Is there any old business? Where is it? Okay, then hearing no old business, let's move on to the new business. The first item of business is nomination of officers for calendar year 2016. So the officers that we will need for 2016 are president, vice president, secretary, and a newsletter editor. And so we'll open it up for nominations here in just a minute. Just to let you know, if you haven't been part of the organization
nominate myself for newsletter editor.
Okay. So Chad Van Linden has nominated himself for newsletter editor.
I second the motion.
Do we need a second for nominations?
I don't know. It's not a motion? Okay.
No, I
I like
know.
your,
Thank you. That's not mine.
no, I know, I read yours.
So Julie has nominated David Hahn for newsletter editor. Any other nominations for newsletter editor? I've never seen that. So many people interested in being a newsletter editor. Okay, so we have two nominations for the newsletter editor. Let's move on to secretary. Any nominations for secretary?
I'll nominate myself for secretary.
Okay, Chad Van Linden has nominated himself for secretary.
Also,
I'm sorry.
I nominate myself.
Julie Woods has nominated herself for secretary of DNA. Did you have a question?
I just had a question, can you be two officers?
Currently we have two officers.
So it's okay.
Well, we have two officers with one person, one body.
Right, is that,
Sandy right now is the secretary and the newsletter editor. And partly that's because last year nobody wanted to do it, either one. So we have two nominations for secretary. Any other nominations for secretary? All right. Let's move on to vice president. Any nominations for vice president?
I'll nominate myself for vice president.
Okay. So Chad Van Linden nominates himself for vice president. Now that might be an issue. We might have to look into the rules as far as that would go.
Well, this is the nominations, and then
Sure.
then there's the election.
Right.
There's-
If it were to be the case that you were to be elected in both roles, we would have to look at the bylaws to see.
I'm encouraged by the idea that I might win more than one position. I thank you. I want to thank you for that. But I'll make concessions if there's an objection to me holding more than one office.
Well, as you said, this is a nomination process anyway, so.
Thank you.
Any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Chad. I'm volunteering you for that.
Okay. That's fine.
Is this still vice president?
This is for vice president. Yeah. I'd like to nominate yourself, Omar Rivera. Okay. Omar Rivera. Any other nominations for vice president? All right, let's move on then to president. Any nominations for president? What else will I-
What, you don't want to be president?
Okay.
You don't want to be president?
So we have one nomination for president, Omar Rivera.
I nominate myself, Elliot Kilmer, for president.
Okay. Sorry, what's his name? Elliot Kemper. So another nomination for president, Elliot Kemper. Any other nominations for president? Okay. I believe that those are our nominations. So then you want to read them back. So for newsletter editor,
For newsletter editor, we have nominated Chad Van Linden and David Hahn. For secretary, we have Julie Woods and Chad Van Linden. For vice president, we have Chad Van Linden, Chad Prosper, and Omar Rivera. For president, we have Omar Rivera and Elliot Kilmer.
okay. Full slate of candidates to be voted on at the next meeting. Yes.
Just curious, does the candidate have to win by a plurality or majority?
It's a simple majority.
One of the races has three. So do they have to win by 50% or just a plurality?
That is an excellent question that I believe you should look up prior to your voting.
Prior to voting, yeah, I guess by the next meeting.
Yeah.
It's not covered in the bylaws.
So it would be covered in Robert's Rules of Order. So we'll have to look that up in Robert's Rules.
But you're saying,
If If I had a gun held to my head now, I'd say it's whoever has the most votes of the three.
Yeah, so that's not a majority, that's a plurality.
Yeah.
So we will look those up, and I believe that's the only one that has three there, right? So the rest of this is a majority, and then some plurality.
Will the candidates make a statement in the newsletter, or what's the procedure for us finding out who they are?
I move that the newsletter editor pro tem, if we have one, accepts a statement from each of the candidates to let them to describe themselves for the newsletter to come out before the next election.
Limited, I mean, like something like that, just won't fit.
Sure. I'd leave the amount of space available up to the decision of the newsletter editor pro tem. I guess that's Sandy. We don't have.
It is, yeah.
Obviously.
So we have a motion on the floor that the newsletter editor accept statements from each of the candidates prior to the next newsletter. Do we hear a second?
I'd like to amend it to say that the discretion of the newsletter editor as to how long those statements are.
I believe that was part of the motion. I just didn't repeat it.
Okay.
I'd agree to it in any case.
Okay. I second.
Okay, so we have a second from Claire. All in favor?
Huh?
Okay, that's happened. So again, the elections will come at our next meeting, which will be the second Tuesday of December, and second Monday of November, December, second Monday of December, and as I understand it, no other business will be held at that meeting except for the election of the officers, and as tradition holds, it also is a potluck brunch dinner. Obviously, I've never done it. So then let's move on to the second item of new business, which is residential parking permits for Frederick Street. And I understand that we'll need to vote on that. So are you our guest from Frederick Street?
Michael Holden is the gentleman that organized it. Joseph Becker from the city as well, so we're just requesting residential parking for a street and commercial overflow from all of the conference.
You want to explain a little bit about the background and then also what the hours are and so forth?
Definitely. So Auto Hero is a new business, online auto retailer that is started on our street. And since they have started small but they've overgrown the capacity for the street. They have, I think, 15 to 20 employees, and they're just parking on our street, making it congested. It's very dangerous to come in and out of Congress, as you know, that's already very congested during the morning and afternoon hours. So we're requesting residential parking. We have 68% of our homeowners that signed the petition to have the residential parking. And the hours would be Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, and Saturdays from 10 to 3.
And that's the hours of the auto shop. And this is the auto place that it used to be a dance studio. Right?
Correct.
So if you go into that.
I'm curious.
We have to go through the process to get a certain amount of people on the block, just to make sure that that's covered too. We have the right side signatures.
Correct. So we're in the street. Find the homeowners, have them sign, and 60% are on it. So we're well over the 60% threshold. We still actually have a few more people that wanted to sign, but we couldn't get a hold of them.
Okay.
And there are a couple renters, so we didn't include them, but they are going to count.
Just to kind of explain, the reason why I have to come through neighborhood association, it's going through an expedited process. Because this is a vertical mixed use area, or within 60 feet of vertical mixed use area. And so it goes through an expedited process in order for to do that neighborhood association. Once they get to 60%, the homeowner, you don't have to actually do a parking study like other processes have. It actually gets approved right after 60%. So
question, please?
Sure. So you're looking at residential parking permits. I'm just curious if there was ever a conversation about a parking ban as a district metering, where you're allowed to funnel those funds back into the neighborhood, back into local projects.
Right, so a park benefit district, the only one that we have currently is the West Campus. East, that's a park and transportation management district. It's a little bit. In that district, there's businesses involved, mainly for businesses and residential. But a park and benefit district is mainly for residential areas that benefit basically from metering on certain streets. And they get 51% of the cost to go back to the neighborhood association for transportation projects.
Does the neighborhood association have to have its own treasury, or does the city handle the money on their behalf?
Yeah, we have the money. The money stays into a fund that just sits there, and then whenever y'all come up with a project, which y'all want to do, y'all pitch it to the transportation department, and then the funds go in there. Now, there's also the park and benefit district, the public works department has another thing that kind of partners up with that, to where they can match some of the funds to do a project.
Now, will the people who purchase permits for Frederick Street, will they also be part of the other two districts within our neighborhood?
So any neighborhood association, or street ends within a certain neighborhood association will stay the same zone. So I believe y'all is
31.
30.
So what that means is currently right now there is residential permit parking on Post Road Drive as well as on El Paso behind Torchy's. And those are the same. So if somebody owns a permit for one, they can park and use it on the other as well. So that would be the case with the Frederick as well. Any other questions?
I have a question. Of the people that opposed it, would you mind sharing some of the things that you heard from people that opposed it? Why?
No one posted on our street.
Oh, okay.
So the other people we didn't get were, there were 2 houses for sale, there were 2 renters, and then 1 person we couldn't get a hold of, so there was no opposition. I think we're all pretty much fed up with parking.
And anybody that opposes, they can call up, we can talk about it. There's, a lot of things that people oppose is that, having to pay for your permits, things like that. And anybody that lives on a street that does oppose it at any time can request a modification, which can be timed or removable, which would they would go through the same process as doing the approval process to get a petition around to get approved.
So you do have to pay for the parking?
Right, so, and that's another thing that's a good question to bring up. So recently there were $10 per permit, to get a 4 permit per household, 2 decals, 2 visitor name tags. And then this year's city council went ahead and up the charge to $15 per permit. It's just to kind of show the cost of what the program is getting. I did bring some information about these. So there's like FAQ and stuff here that just grab if you want. And then there's also neighborhood farms select.
That's yearly cost, right?
Right, yearly cost. And for package, it'd be $60. And then there's also what's called day passes, kind of look like this, they're out of car stock. So if you have a gathering or something like that, you can request these free of charge, you get 20 of them off. So if you have a birthday or something like that, you can say, hey, I need these. Get those.
Any other questions?
It's not on that issue, is that right? Or, I'm sorry, I haven't been to one of these meetings before, so I'm just looking for the right comments.
Okay.
After this. After this discussion.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's take let's finish this one and then we
Sounds great, I just didn't know if that was a general problem.
So the process here then is the membership here, we need to take a vote on approving or disapproving Frederick Street's request for permit parking. Do I hear a motion for one or the other?
I knew that we approved permit parking for Frederick Street.
Okay.
I second the motion.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed?
there was one exception.
Okay, so residential parking is approved by the neighbors.
I'll be getting your signature then today.
Oh, okay.
Acting officer.
Okay, fair enough. So something will come. Any other new business? Sorry.
Does the neighborhood association have to put something in writing for these people?
I believe it's part of, like, I'll have to sign that.
There's an endorsement form that goes along with it that the neighborhood association has to sign to approve the times and the location of the.
Okay, just so you guys know.
Oh, yeah, that's.
Thank you.
Yes, so now's the perfect time to ask your question.
Awesome. I'm really asking for advice. My name's Michael. We live at 2902 Greenwood, which is between La Vista and El Paso. We've been there about 7 years. Really love the neighborhood. We've got the creek behind our house, which is wonderful. The city came in to do a project there to prevent erosion on a number of houses, and ours was one of them. And we very much appreciate the project. I don't know anyone here was involved in the process of working with the city to plan that, but we were excited that it was happening. For us, it just showed up, and we were grateful for the erosion control. But there were a number of things that in the process of doing that erosion control, the city did that created problems in the creek bed, and they just sort of left. And I emailed Michelle Admon, who was the engineer on the project, and she basically just sort of dismissed what I said. So I don't know where to go with my complaints, but the problem is that they damaged a like 100-year-old live oak tree back there. And not only is that just sort of upsetting in general, because it's a beautiful tree, but at this point it's leaning, and I've paid to have an arborist who's supposedly the expert in the city on live oaks come out. And he says it's in danger of falling down. I'm worried about saving 3.5-year-old daughter, and I don't want a tree falling on my property and when she's out there playing. So to stabilize it, what this arborist said was it would require a brace, which I had got a bid on, and it's about $2,000. And I asked Michelle if the city could come out and do that work, and she said, no, we're not responsible for that. Now, I don't know where to go, and I don't want to pay $2,000 for a brace for something the city did. So does anyone have suggestions, or is anyone involved in that process?
I know a couple people on my block that were involved in the process. I can give you them. Y'all can brainstorm some ideas.
That would be appreciated.
And I'm going to tell you to call the elected mayor, who is the council person. He's very receptive, as is.
Okay.
A real immediate thing you can do is call 311 and give them as much detail as possible. I would measure the tree and I would put the exact location. Is it on your property?
No, it's on my neighbor's property, but she's, three of us in a row are pretty upset about it.
Call 311 separately
Okay.
and ask for action and ask for a response in writing and email, and you will get an immediate response.
And give
You'll be documenting it.
And give the call.
Call.
Yeah.
They will give you a number, when you call in, they'll give you a number.
Yes.
Service
Yeah,
Service request for.
and they'll probably give you maybe the person you already talked to, the city arborist.
Well, I haven't talked to the city's office, so I'd love to actually, but,
Okay, I have.
yeah, okay.
If that fails, KU Defenders.
KU defenders?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can just
Okay.
also Google
Okay.
Dawson investigative reporters, and it gives you five phone numbers in there.
Yeah.
They'll get back to you. I mean, they'll take action.
That's last week.
Yeah.
So I was kind of critical to that. So I think the best thing, like she said, is contact the council members.
Yeah.
You can go online and you ask them if you know them. What they do is they're good resources for the city. What they'll do is they'll reach out to the person that's in charge. That person then at that point go out and ask questions as far as what needs to be done.
Yeah.
So I think, for our city, that's the best way to do it. 311 is another good resource. So
Any advice on that? I think you work with the city. Right. Any advice on how to navigate the fact that it appears that from her response to my initial outreach that the team that was there told her something that's not true what they did back then?
I mean, yeah, I mean, just, is it called email form? Right. Contact your account number, let them know. I mean, if there's something that's going on that's, not the right way at customer service based, the city worker should be handling the situation, especially, based on, ethics.
Yeah.
That's kind of the best way to do it. There was recently, the Katie recently did something, that part of the thing was on the trail, that was being, the tree fell over. I can't remember exactly what we did, but they actually gave a bunch of information, on that news story about what we call them, kind of trees.
Okay.
Fall down. That's how we get it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
I just wanted to speak for a couple minutes, if that's okay, with the PTA and Dawson Elementary.
Just tell me.
Okay, thanks, Julie. So I have a couple things just to let you guys know about this upcoming event, which one is, I've got some flyers here I'll put on the table with grab one on the ribbon. This is a new kind of project that's going to be going on this year at Dawson on October 24th. YMCA, the Togetherhood program, has partnered with Dawson Elementary to do some beautification work at the school. And so we're going to be having a pet parade at 9 o'clock in the morning. Everybody's invited to bring their pets out to join the pet parade. There's more information on the flyer, but also really we're going to be doing, installing some new pet waste stations on the ground for people who bring their dogs out. Some safety signs, we have some fun art installations, some crafts, food, fun stuff like that. So we encourage you to come out for that October 24th. And then also, I'm with the PTA, I'm the treasurer at Dawson Elementary, and I live in the Karen neighborhood on Wilson Street across from the condos. We're also having our fall carnival, which is October 30th this year at 4 to 7 p.m. And we encourage everybody to come out. It's really fun. We like to see, strong community involvement. It's a lot of fun with the kids. But also, besides encouraging you to come out, we're also looking for sponsorships for booths, prizes. We're obviously take donations and TTA. Really, we're looking for primarily food donations. If you know somebody that works in a restaurant or food industry that maybe do food donations, or also like a party rental place looking for bounce houses, things like that. So just putting the word out there for that. If you're interested, here's like a sponsorship letter with more information. You can contact the PTA president or Ms. Gator, the principal is also here tonight. Thank you. That's it.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Brad. I met some of you earlier, but I wanted to introduce myself. I'm running for the new district court here in Travis County. We have 2 new courts in Travis County, thanks to the legislative session in 2013. We have a county court and a new district court. And the new district court will handle felony cases. It's everything from small drug cases to death penalty cases. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a native Austinite. I've lived here my whole life except for 3 years I was in the Army. In fact, I'm a South Austin boy, go Prime Cougars. So this is my home, and this is my home, and I care about this community, having qualified judges who care about the community and understand the community. I've been practicing now for nearly 20 years, and in that 20-year time, I've tried everything you can imagine, either drug cases, death penalty cases. In fact, I've had 5 capital murder trials, and I've tried more cases in the last 5 years than any criminal defense attorney in the county. All those guys are indigent defendants, and that's the majority of my work. I'm working with people that can't afford to pay. It's not lucrative, but it is rewarding, and I enjoy it. And now I'm running for district court, and I would love your support. I'm really interested in ending our school to prison pipeline. I think that more should be done for youthful offenders to keep them from getting a felony label. I'm a veteran. I care deeply about expanding our veterans court to the district court level. We currently have one, but its jurisdiction is the senior level. And really all it needs is the judge really to take that on and help our veterans Travis County is the largest provider of mental health service. Travis County Jail is the largest provider of mental health services to our mentally ill. We have great programs that just need support, funding, and implementing. So those are some of the things that I'm interested in. And lastly, I would be remiss to tell you that we have 7 criminal court judges in Travis County, and we have 1 Latino. We have a county that's 40% Latino, 65% of our kids in the ISD are Latinos. It's sad that some of the people can't go to court and just be told when their next court date is, or that they're going to be appointed a lawyer, or to come back to a lawyer. So simple things like that, a face that you recognize and understand, speaking the language that you speak, is certainly useful. So I look forward to getting to know you. I'm coming out to your communities. I have some information. There's a great fan. It's hot in here. It's quite large. But in any event, thank you for having me out. I'll run another event, of course, but thank you so much for letting me talk. Thank you.
Any other new business?
I would like to make a couple of super quick presentations about National Night Out and about a tour of the Habitat for Humanity building, still under construction. Greg Anderson is actually here, so if I say anything that isn't correct, Greg, if I say anything that isn't true, throw a correction at me. If you noticed anything off about me that morning, I was up the whole night. And it wasn't out of nervousness, I just didn't go to bed that night. So I was a little off, wasn't I? All right. National Night Out. Well, believe it or not, we had an unofficial National Night Out picnic this year, October 6th. I'm not sure if Dawson neighborhood has actually had an official one in the past, but Galindo has. And in other neighborhoods, there's over 400, maybe 600?
There were 400. Over 400 last year.
Over 400. And these were the officially registered ones that could take photos and have big events and have important people come by and compete for some national awards, for what that's worth. At any rate, Jovita Pardo, native Dawsonite here, launched the effort, and I threw all of my resources into making it happen, and it wouldn't have happened without her. To make it really short, does anyone just have any flat-out questions about National Night Out? I'll answer questions, and that'll be the segment. National Night Out is basically, as they say, it's a picnic, it's a party the neighborhood or other group throws to give crime and drugs a going-away party. So it's a little corny, but it's an awesome excuse to have a block party. I also have a sign-up sheet. I'm hoping I can get enough folks to sign. I would like to have an official, you already signed, I'd like to have an official National Night Out event on October 4th, early October of next year. An official one means that we can compete for awards. It means we'll have national recognition. The city has their own National Night Out aspect, and they'll be providing promotional materials. And I'd like to take over Gillis Park and have a fire truck, and maybe the mayor will show up. They do this at some other National Night Out. The sign-up sheet is just to be on the mailing list, which means that you'll be kept up to date with our activities. After you sign up, then the request for volunteers will come out, and then we'll form a committee to pull it together. That'll be deciding firmly where we're going to have it, contacting restaurants and other businesses to provide us with food and other goodies, and contacting fire department and police to see if we can formally have them drop by. This October, we had Officer Barboza drop by, and also ex-Officer Sheffield, who's with the city's National Night Out effort, dropped off some leftover goodies. And I want to make a point of thanking Pizza Patron for donating 5 pizzas. We did not lack for food. Pulled together at the last second. Any direct questions? who's interested in keeping up to date on its signs, and then afterwards we'll ask if anyone wants to volunteer to be on the committee. And of course, we're going to continue to ask other people in the community, like local pastors and people who have experience throwing block parties already. We haven't had one in so long. I'd like to touch base with folks who've done block parties before, so we know what we're doing, and that it's a proper neighborhood group effort. So the Habitat for Humanity tour took place way too early in the morning for me, having been up all night. I don't know, Greg, if you want, Greg here is actually from Habitat for Humanity. Do you want to make any comments, or just let me go at it?
I'll make a quick fill it in.
Okay, great.
Sure, so down in South Burns, it's been white. I hope you guys have all seen this. We have signs coming in by the day right now, so we're getting illuminated out in the open. We moved our headquarters in, not this past Thursday, but the Thursday before, so our team is there. We closed down our new store on East 3rd Street last Saturday. The last day was open. I'm sad about that. We're moving all the inventory over. We're going to have a soft opening on October 23rd, and then grand opening on the 21st. Your council member, Peter Risley, is going to be there, as is your mayor. We're going to talk. We're going to have a good time. There's going to be a ball pit, face painting, you name it, a lot of fun stuff. So November 21st at 10 a.m. I hope you guys can make it.
Now that's just the soft opening, right?
Our soft opening on October 23rd.
23rd. And November is the official grand opening party. Now these guys are throwing us a block party. I think everybody ought to go to it. If you're familiar with the site, the old Chuck E. Cheese has a huge parking lot, huge building, and it's going to be a marching band. They may not be marching though, they'll be playing. Food trucks, demonstration stands, maybe the mayor? Definitely the mayor. This is a big thing. Everybody should go. So briefly, the tour was amazing, and I was so sleepy that this was really, it had quite an impact on me to get through my wooziness. We're talking about something like almost the size of a Home Depot. Not only is Habitat for Humanity going to be holding training classes for folks who need to know everything about how to invest their money and open bank accounts and do home repairs and keep up on their mortgage, everything about home ownership, managing money, and many more things. They're moving their regional headquarters to this site, right next to the Restore, which is where they'll be selling items donated from local businesses. Part of the reason that they moved to what we call the Chuck E. Cheese location is because they determined that a lot of their donations are coming more over the southwest side of Austin. I forget the streets exactly. South Lamar and it's buried in this texture somewhere. That's close enough. So they'll be closer to the donators, and hopefully the convenience will ramp things up. They are building a fantastic new boardroom right in the front corner of the building. And it's my understanding that it's already been offered to the neighborhood association and other organizations to hold their meetings in. Will there be a charge for it, or a charge for some and free for others?
We haven't announced it yet, so now it's now.
Okay. That sounds really good. That means us too. And I've seen the room, but it was still under construction. I don't know how it compares with this room as far as acoustics go. But I think folks will agree that there's an issue with acoustics in this room. There's an issue with acoustics. So I hope we have the opportunity. I'm sure we'll give it a try at least once, and maybe move over there permanently or take turns. I'm not sure. It's up to whoever is running the association at that time. So, like I said, it's huge. They have rows of meeting rooms. It's really kitschy. They've got donated chandeliers. None of them match. They're all like 70s and 80s chandeliers hanging above large work areas that are going to be used for cubicles and also for the break room and inside the Restore itself over their demonstration areas. Demo areas are going to be, they double as classrooms, basically, if I understand. we're looking at like big counters set up so that they can show you how you do things. That sounds really intelligent, doesn't it? How you do things. So there is a space at the south end that they call their bonus room, and they are considering renting it out to another business that is like-minded, like Habitat for Humanity, something related to renewal or construction, and that way probably sounds bad, construction, but a good green company. So the building is divided into 3 sections, 3 long stripes. The Habitat, the Restore is in the center. It's a little wider than the other 2. And the side facing Fort Magruder, which kind of looks like an alley, is where the receiving will be. Folks will turn in off of South First, pull into the receiving. It'll be like pulling into Goodwill. And then they'll continue down Magruder and they can exit onto Congress or the Ben White frontage again. Other highlights? Greg, what else should I feature?
4-star building.
They are seeking 4-star. I have something about that.
250 people, so we can kill it. So.
They
mainly donate, just donate. So if you donate a door there, I love what it says back here. It's great. I don't know who wrote this, but you donate a door to Habitat, and you're likely funding a door for a child who's never had a better.
They have doors. You just look up and they're all over the place. So the PV panels are not installed yet. They're still on their way.
Being installed today.
They installed today. See, we drove the other way around, or I would already know. That's awesome. I really want to see what that looks like in person. Leave some surprises. That's a good point. So I hope I piqued everyone's interest, and I hope everybody comes out and joins the grand opening.
Thank you, John. We do actually have one more item of business that very well. Greg has graciously offered for us to hold the December meeting at the Habitat.
All right.
Boardroom. I think that it requires a vote, to be honest with you guys. Agree that it would require a vote to move a meeting, especially an election meeting.
Well, the bylaws just say the time and date of regular meetings, not the location. And the meetings have been moved on real short notice to HEB. It was managed merely by notification in the newsletter.
Okay, then.
We can solemnize it.
I didn't think a vote was going to fail, so.
Yeah.
That's fine. So then, this should serve as notice that the December meeting will still be the second Monday of December. It'll still be at 6:30. However, this time it will be at the Habitat for Humanity Restore at South Church and Ben White.
Cool.
We don't have that as far.
Any other old business before we adjourn and move on to the next meeting? Okay, so do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
All right, so that's adjourned. And so moving on then to the DMVCT.
Did Cole show up?
He's in that back corner.
Oh.